The devil does not approach a pure creature of God. Geronda, why am I overwhelmed by my passions? If one gives the devil the right to control him, he will be seized by all kinds of passions. What God wants from you, which is for your benefit too, is to take your passions and throw them in the devil's face. That is, you must turn your anger, your stubbornness, and so on against him. Or what is even better, sell your passions to the devil and use the money to buy stones, to throw at him and keep him from getting close to you. Most of the time, it is we who allow the enemy to harm us by being careless or having proud thoughts. The devil can take advantage of even a single thought or word. Once, I remember, there was a couple who really loved each other. One day the husband started saying to his wife, "I will divorce you," and she did the same. They were only kidding, of course, but the tempter, the devil, took advantage of it and set up some minor difficulty that brought them to the verge of a real separation. They did not even think of their children or anything else. Fortunately, a spiritual father asked them, "Are you going to get a divorce for something so trivial?" In this way, they came to their senses. If we stray from the commandments of God, our passions rise up against us and attack us. When we allow our passions to assault us, there is no need for the devil to do anything. The demons are skillful and cunning, each with his own specialty. They strike fast, looking for some passion, some weakness, in order to start their war against us. We must be careful to keep the doors, windows, our senses shut, nor should we allow for any cracks whereby the enemy can enter. These cracks are our weak points. If we leave even a tiny crack open, the devil can get in and cause damage. The devil enters a person when his heart is full of mud. He does not dare approach a pure creature of God. When the mud is removed from the heart and the enemy goes away, Christ returns. As a pig that does not find mud grunts and goes away unhappily, so too does the devil stay away from a heart not mired in filth. What kind of business can he have in a pure and humble heart? If therefore we realize that our house, our heart, has become dilapidated and the enemy has moved in, we have to tear it down immediately in order to get rid of our bad tenant, the devil. We must act immediately, for when sin has taken root in a man for a long time, the devil's rights naturally increase. The longer he stays, the more rights he acquires. Suppose, Geronda, that a person has lived carelessly and allowed the devil to have authority over him. If he now decides to start a new life, to put things in order and live carefully, will the devil fight him? When a person repents and turns his life around, God will give him strength, enlightenment, and divine consolation to help him get started. But when the struggle really begins, then the enemy will fight him fiercely. At that point, one needs patience and perseverance. How else can the passions be uprooted? How else can we shed the old man, our old passion-filled self? How can pride go away? This is how one comes to realize that he can do nothing on his own, and so he humbly asks for God's mercy. It is then that humility comes. The same happens when a person wants to give up a bad habit, for instance, smoking or drugs. At first he feels happy with his decision and throws them away. Then he sees other people smoking, drinking, and so on, and he feels attacked from all sides. If he overcomes such temptations, he will turn his back on a habit without difficulty. All of us need to make an effort to resist a little. The devil does his job, shouldn't we do ours?